Antonio Conte would have plotted to silence the San Siro. This is not a friendly venue for the former Inter Milan boss when packed to the rafters with the red and black side of this Italian football hotbed. He was met with a barrage of whistles and jeers before kick-off, and the bones of this creaking old monument to Milanese football throbbed with hope and ambition when Brahim Diaz gave the home side an early lead. But Tottenham resisted. They were steely and streetwise, and they refused to cave in as they had done at Leicester on Saturday. In midfield, inexperienced pair Oliver Skipp, making his first Champions League start, and Pape Matar Sarr, making his first appearance in the competition, were a fair match for Milan. Both grew in confidence as the game progressed, Sarr becoming a force with his forward runs and Skipp plugging gaps and keeping the ball alive. Tottenham were beaten 1-0 in their Champions League last-16 clash with AC Milan. Spurs boss Antonio Conte watched on from the sidelines as his team fell to consecutive losses. Winger Brahim Diaz scored a first-half header that ended up being the match winner. Diaz was on hand to bundle the ball home from close range after just 7 minutes. The young pair can take great credit from their performances under pressure, and, ultimately, it was not the depleted centre of the team that left Spurs with work to do in the second leg of this last-16 tie in 3 weeks. Instead, they were punished for a moment of frailty at the back, when experienced defenders went missing. They could have done without a yellow card for Eric Dyer, for a foul on Olivier Giroud, which rules him out of the return, and they were fortunate to escape when Charles de Ketelaere and Malik Tia both went close to scoring Milan's second, with headers in the closing stages. That would have changed the complexion of the tie. As it was, Tottenham performed reasonably well, and Conte, something closer to the animated figure we are used to seeing on the touchline, would have been quietly satisfied. His team are still in the tie, albeit a goal adrift, and they proved to him they are ready to engage in a scrap despite depleted ranks, an intense atmosphere and a poor surface, hardly conducive to the sort of slick counter-attacking football Conte's team thrives upon. But they could not silence the San Siro. By the end, the Rossoneri were as loud as they had been all night, with red flares glowing and smoke drifting out from the curva sud behind Fraser Forster's goal. It is advantage Milan, 7 times champions of Europe, who had revved up this contest as the chance to reach the last 8 for the first time in more than a decade and salvage a season losing its way. Until a 1-0 win against Torino on Friday, they had been on a terrible run of 7 without a win, suffering heavy defeats against Lazio and Sassuolo, and against rivals Inter in the Italian Super Cup. Harry Kane was unable to get on the scoresheet for the North London side on the night young midfielder Pape Matar Sarr put in a brilliant performance for Tottenham. Perhaps they detected a corner turned. Perhaps they could sense wounded opponents. Tottenham were without key players missing, and Conte, always the heartbeat of his teams, was still not back to full fitness after his gallbladder surgery. Doctors advised him to rest for 15 days, and here he was, less than a fortnight after his operation, braving the hostile reception on the touchline at the San Siro for the first time since he quit Inter Milan after winning the Italian title in 2021. On the pitch, all eyes turned to the inexperienced pairing of Skipp and Sarr in the heart of midfield. Wide men Son Heung-min and Dejan Kulusevski seemed to tuck a little closer to them, and Harry Kane dropped deep, as if for protection, but that did nothing to stop Milan striking early with a frantic goal, scored in the 7th minute. Milan's captain Theo Hernandez, with his dazzling platinum rinse, troubled Spurs whenever he raided forward into the space behind Emerson Royal, and made life uncomfortable for Christian Romero, on the right of the Tottenham back three. Hernandez on the run beat Romero convincingly in the air and forged towards Fraser Forster's goal from the left. He took aim with his left foot and caught it sweetly. Milan fullback Theo Hernandez was a live wire down the left-hand side all night. Forster, in for the injured Hugo Lloris, closed the angle at his near post and let the ball crash into his chest, but the rebound spun invitingly into the center of the penalty area. Diaz was first onto it and nursed it back towards the gaping net with a side foot volley. Somehow Forster stretched and made another save, throwing out his left hand to stop it crossing the line. It was a miraculous stop and, for a fraction of a second, the ball seemed to defy gravity, suspended tantalizingly in mid-air, above the goal line. Forster and Ivan Perisic were in a heap on the turf. Diaz hurtled forward, threw himself like a running back, flying for the end zone, and managed to apply the finishing touch with a header to give his team the lead. The San Siro erupted. If Conte truly wanted to test a character, then this one had suddenly become a little sterner. Tottenham regrouped, successfully breaking the flow of the game and threatened from set pieces, expertly delivered by Son. Diaz's goal will leave Tottenham with an uphill battle to climb in the second leg. In London, Dyer glanced a header wide from one of Son's free kicks and Royal tried his luck from distance, unable to force anything more than a routine save from Cyprian Tatarusanu. Conte's side could not prise Milan's defense open in the first half. It looked as if they had in stoppage time when Son dashed clear to force a save from Tatarusanu and Kane turned the rebound onto the bar, but Son was a yard offside. The flag went up belatedly and it was the correct call. Kane was more influential in the second half, linking up open play and helping Tottenham further up the pitch. Still, it was difficult to break through and Milan summoned a late flurry, which tore the game open. Sub de Ketelaere headed wide and Tia went even closer seconds later. Sarr saw a deflected effort flash wide at the other end and Dyer fluffed a header at the back post from a corner.